So yeah, I got the time wrong. This series was actually supposed to start 3 hours ago, but it didn't because of the first best of 7 we had today. But we are here. This is the final gold playoff. So Dogao was second place in the group behind Jordan. Dogao falls into the category of a player who, if they get relegated from Platinum, you almost immediately think could make it back. Kasva's never been to Platinum League. Kasva has always done well in TTL, though. He's been highly prepared. I think he's been in the Gold League for a couple years now. He's a very aggressive play from Turkey, but I think he's going to have to really lean hard into the aggression to get the better of Dogao today, Ornlu.
Yeah, for sure. Dogao is he's such a well-rounded player. He has a ton of finesse when it comes to like a lot of unit-based attacking in the mid game. So, I mean, it's not like he's super passive either, but yeah, I mean, Dogao can play any map and do just fine there. And of course, TTL has that large variety of maps that you can draft. So I think that Dogao is going to be doing pretty well on all of these, as we are indeed the 2 KH civs, Khmer and Khitans.
The 2 KH civs. Wow, I didn't think about that. Man, these are the details I'd be missing if I didn't have you casting this best of 7 with me.
I just read it from your chat, so I can't take credit for that one.
Okay. I mean, I do that more often than I'd like to admit. So I noticed it as well with I don't really watch that many streams other than Age of Empires, but occasionally if I'm watching some other streamer, I'll see the message in the chat, and then I'll be like, oh, I know what he did. He just stole a joke.
Oh yeah.
But these 2 KH civs are very good at going scouts. So that's my expectation right now. And Dogao moves forward and goes for the lumber camp on the bigger wood line towards the middle. But I think I prefer the Khmer here because your ability to just farm anywhere in really messy games is super strong. And otherwise, you'd have to drop off your resources at the mill. But I as I say that,
I'm like, T90, what about Khitan?
Yeah, I was going to say, as I say that, I realize...
I don't want to contradict you in your own tournament, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to draw the line here.
Wow, yeah, true. Because of the pastures, they don't need to drop off the food eco at the mill. So neither civ needs to use their mills in the same way. Interesting.
Yeah, and I think on top of that, what's interesting is that we have 2 civs here that really lean into like extended feudal age play, scouts of course, but you can kind of keep that going for a long time because your eco is good and you've got some military bonuses as Khitans.
Yeah.
When we've typically been seeing more of the Drush and Men-at-Arm Rush civs on this map be so successful because it's just so hard to defend yourself early on. Just ask Valessa.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one.
Wasn't it so cool, though, to see the buildup of that series? I mean, Dao was joking in the interview when he said, oh, the whole series was a setup. He obviously didn't want to lose the early games, but the storyline was he had previously always gone for fast castle lancers. He did it with Mongols. He did it with Jurchens. And I think Valessa just straight up expected him to do it again. And then Doubt mind gamed him. And the rest is history. That was sick.
Yeah, that was the game itself was a bit of a damper, but the actual like build up to the game and why things unfolded the way it did was very interesting.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's wild. Once TTL ends, we have to wait another year. But every single time, I feel like the competition just gets closer in every league. And of course, it's still going to be the same narrative of if players get promoted, they should in theory be relegated. But like Doubt promoted, Sorakuma promoted, potentially Dogao or Kasva. Like I start to look at these names that are getting promoted, both from Gold League to Platinum, but also from Silver League to Gold. And I'm just thinking, like, I don't think they're going down again. So, yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. We do have Feudal Age on the way for these guys. Very similar uptimes, just 1 pop faster here for Kasva. And he is going to the Gold. He is done with Gold League, so he is going to Gold. It doesn't make any sense, T90.
Huh. Interesting. So I think it's so good that we talked about scouts until we were blue in the face, because that's what Dogao's going to expect here. He's going to expect scouts, and he's like, okay, I'll go scout war. I'll add lots of spears. Probably figures my opponent will skip the barracks and not go for spearmen. Kasva's going man-at-arms, which no one ever does with this if everyone skips the barracks, but he is going for the one strategy that relies on the early barracks. And here he comes. I guess the idea here is to immediately tower and pressure the wood line, but I don't know. The villagers are kind of walking forward like they want an archery range.
And does Dogao see the scout kind of hanging around back and forth as we'd have the archery range immediately coming forward? But when you go for a strat like this is the classic case of you're not playing to your civilization's strengths, so you really want to catch your opponent off guard. And that could easily happen, as this stable is not at all happening.
This is the energy Kasva brings, and I love it from Kasva because there's so many downsides if you compare maybe his speed or his experience. But win or lose today, it's very clear that he's coming out and he's going to throw Dogao for a bit of a loop. Dogao loses the Vil. He's still going for the stable, but he doesn't know there's an archer range. So the archer follow-up could be a problem for the woodline.
Yeah, and remember, guys, Ketons were nerfed in the most recent patch. Actually, they were nerfed in several different ways, so their pastures aren't as good. Their scouts and other trash units train slower. And it's just, they're not as fast as they used to be. And, well, speed is very helpful to have right now, as Kasva is going to delete the tower for now, but is still going to keep that pressure going strong.
Oh, man, we got Dogao's experience is showing so already. We don't see towers that frequently at all these days, but Dogao actually stopped building that tower for a second, thought about, can I save the stone for a tower elsewhere? Kasva just deleted his tower, so now he could still build one somewhere. We'll see where he chooses to go, but obviously walking around with villagers in the front of your opponent's base is very risky, so this could easily get out of hand fast for Kasva if he's not careful.
Yeah, the walls are coming in here at the back for Dogao. I like that he took the more exposed forage bushes first because of a situation exactly like this. Most of the food there is already gone.
Yeah.
And your food income is just so strenuous on this map because of the lack of farm space around your TC. Even if you're a civ like Khmer or Ketons that don't need to farm around the TC, that space that the farms take up is still really important to control.
Number one thing you need to do, viewers, if you're ever getting attacked like this, stop reacting to them. Go to their base. Because usually they're still exposed at home. And Kasva realizes that's exactly what Dogao will do. We'll prep the walls on the wood line. I'm going to assume that he will wall this, but I think he missed his shift click. And that's open. No. And that's after such a good start. That's brutal for Kasva.
Scout's going to stack right on up there. There is no house nearby for those villagers to jump into, and that is not what you're looking for. 10 out of 10 idea. 1 out of 10 execution. You get the 1 point there for saving that last villager, but that is quite ugly. That said, the tower is coming right back in, and Dogao finished his tower, so he's not able to re-tower behind this. He has sort of a contingency layer of walls coming in for Dogao. Skirmishers are on the way, but he is not out of the woods yet.
Yeah, I think Spearmen at home. Just 2 Spearmen at home right now for Kasva makes a whole lot of sense. He continues to send them forward because he truly has no chill right now, but a couple spears at home will add a lot of value here. But forward mining camp for Kasva, I guess the plan is more towers. Still not able to really break through at the moment. And I'm looking in the back. We've only got 2 pastures for Dogao. So the pasture count isn't what he would have wanted, but he does have them, and we still don't have any farms yet for Kasva. Oh, God, in the wood line again.
I was just looking, and I'm like, wait, why is the villager difference so significant?
Yeah.
Kasva's had a lot of idle TC time, guys. We're talking more than 3 additional villagers worth of idle time, and the archers and spearmen are all exposed, and everything is coming undone at the seams here for poor Kasva. And right now, this pressure is going to fall flat on its face.
It's not uncommon. The 3 players who I'd put in the top 3 leagues who have the most idle TC time, and it's almost just because of how aggressive they are, would be Kasva, who's Gold League, and then Gabby and Bad Koala, who are Silver League, and they're actually playing in a playoff against each other tomorrow. It is really common when you watch their games that they have it because they're usually killing so much and they're so aggressive. But obviously, the patient players like Dogao, if they could maintain their villager production and just relax against the pressure, it should be much better for them. And that feels the way this is trending. Dogao will actually rush this tower down. He brings his skirmishers to disrupt the other tower from Kasva. The scouts are coming back home as well. And I kind of fear for Kasva at the moment that this attack has not done what he was looking for.
Yeah, and the thing is with these hyper-aggressive playstyles, I feel like they just run into a wall eventually because at some point, once you advance far enough, the players are just getting too good at defending at it. And
Yep.
there's a reason that these super all-in aggressive plays are not what we see a ton of in AoE 2. You usually want to have some sort of economy behind whatever you do, and it's only very specific strategies and specific civs and maps that this generally works out for.
Yeah, I think against the army that you're up against now, skirmishers and scouts, you would try and go for your own scouts, but Kasva taps out. That is not an early GG. He just quite simply didn't do enough damage. And Dogao, think about everything that could have happened at the start of Feud Ledge. He got a stable denied. He lost the villager. He could have been rattled. He could have missed some steps economically, but he got his upgrades. He got his military out. He got great counterattacks. He defended his wood line. I mean, none of that's easy. He's even fully walled as well. And yeah, he's just that good. But here we go, and here's our answer on what the civs will be. Mongols for Dogao. We don't see this civ that frequently, but there is a lot of hunt on this map, and I quite like it, Orlu.
Well, I think we don't see Mongols frequently because they're banned constantly.
Oh, true.
I mean, I think we'd see Mongols every single series with this map pool in the tournament if they were not banned.
Yeah,
and
fair.
I think that's just a testament to how insane the civ is right now. And you can see Dogao already pushing in the very early hunt, even abandoning the poor goat carcass just to make sure that he is zooming up with his food income as fast as possible.
If the civ matchup was reversed, I guarantee you that Kasva with Mongols would be trying to lame right now. The scout would be forward, stealing sheep, trying to steal a rhino or something, but Dogao's like, you know what? I have my hunt bonus. I don't need your food. I just need to push in my zebra, and then from there, I could be in a very nice position. What do you think of Malians for Kasva, though?
Malians are always good. Like, they're one of my favorite civs. They're just so flexible. On hybrid maps, all of those wood savings are going to help you take early water control. The better gold income is going to help you on both water and land. And you just have such a broad tech tree that you can really go for any sort of approach.
Yeah.
So I like that already, but already we see a difference from the players T90. Dogao is using the Mongol food bonus to just have fewer villagers on food so he could go to wood faster.
Yep.
And I always really like when players sort of use their early game bonuses in a bit of a different way.
Yeah. No, that's... There's other civs that do it in different ways, in easier ways, I guess. You have like Persians to start with plus 50 wood and plus 50 food. You can have 5 on food underneath the TC. Lithuanians, you start with extra food, so you could have this much underneath the TC. But like Mongols don't actually don't start with anything additional or have any discounts. But yeah, that would be a very fast dock. And the trend that I've seen, it's not just about getting your own dock up quickly. It's about being there when your opponent comes to dock. And so when Kasva goes up there, if Dogao's patrolling around with the scout, the dock could easily be denied.
Yeah, you have to be so careful on it. The last thing you want on any map like this is to lose the villager before the dock goes down. I mean, that is probably, you're at less than a 7% chance to win the game from that point. It is that big of a deal.
I explained this exact scenario the other day when someone who is an underdog did the same thing, and they were pushing a deer instead of protecting their vill. It's high risk, high reward. You're the underdog, and so you know you should protect your villager, but you don't do it because you think there's a solid chance that it doesn't get found. But Dogao is waiting for it, and so Kasva has to bring a scout over, and even just having that villager get killed right now would be so bad for Kasva, and Dogao, he's not going to have any mercy here, and he kills the villager. That is brutal for Kasva.
Yeah, remember what I said about the, 90+% chance to win the game? Yeah, guys, we already have a fishing ship lead. So Kasva has not only lost the villager, Dogao is going to further his eco lead via the fishing ships. There's really nothing you can do to catch up anytime soon. And, we had the amazing series last time, T90. Super great storyline, fan favorite players. Took a super long time. I'm sitting here waiting. Thanks for bringing me on for this.
I mean, hey, Doubt lost the first 2 games in the previous set, all right? There were some moments in the previous series which didn't always look so clear. Let's have some hope for Kasva. But no, like, it just has huge underdog energy from Kasva, right? Like, the forward with the Khmer, and now, like, this whole taking the risk, and credit to Dogao. Like, every single timing he has made perfect use of. He didn't push in all of his hunt. He came back home now to do so because he knew his scout needed to be there. And now Dogao should click up, and he's got a decision to make. But I would think, I'm already ahead on water. Let's just go kill on land. And hold up. Here comes Kasva. And Dogao's even looking at it before there's an attack, and he hits the palisade walls. So smooth.
I mean, this is, what you want to see from a player who's aspiring to be in Platinum League.
Yeah.
And I think that's the concern I'd have even with a player like Kasva is like, okay, you get to Platinum League, but do you have a play style that could be successful
Yeah, that's
against
fair.
the best competition? And my worry is that if Kasva, pulls off an upset, which is totally possible, guys, and even beats Dogao from here, I'm not too sure how successful this style is going to be over 15 games.
Yeah. I think I would agree with that. But right now, I mean, he's got to do what he can to get up. He's got the fish in the north. The next thing for Dogao would be the land attack, and my God, everything is so crisp. Dogao started kind of brutal in his group. I know he was up against Jordan, but after losing a really painful first game, he kind of seemed like he was mentally defeated in Game 2 and Game 3. Ended up getting second, but I wasn't really a big fan of his openings at times. He was still getting wins because he's Dogao, but it wasn't sharp. This is sharp. This is Man-at-Arms, all ready to go. Upgrades coming in. Resources are there to do everything he wants. Archer range is up. Probably will mix in a Hulk as well. And the scouting as well, Ornlu. Super active with the scout. Finds the dock is up. And now heads towards Kasva, who, I mean, he's almost 1,000 resources collected behind. He has to wall for now, which is the right play. And it seems like with 2 docks, he's going to go for some water.
Yeah, and this isn't a bad idea. You really want to make sure that you can get some sort of eco lead at this point, because you know that you're just behind in resources against Mongols, because that's how it always is in the early game with any amount of hunt on the map.
Yep.
So what you can do to flip the tables there is to just go for your own water control and then have your fish boom overtake your opponent over time. And that's, I think, a pretty good route back into the game. He's safe here at home. So if there is a way back into this one from Kasva, I think this is a decent approach.
Yeah, but the villagers on the dock here, Kasva, have to be protected. They have to be.
Oh.
And he loses the one. That's the difference. When it was fires before, the fires could be blocked by some walls. Hawks... Actually, can Hawks fire over the walls? I think they can, right?
They can, over the corner of a wall, yes.
Yeah. There was nothing blocking it.
It's kind of tricky
so.
because they only have the one range.
Okay. Yeah, Dogao probably needs to retask his Man-at-Arms. The Man-at-Arms and the scouts are not constantly attacking, but he's microing on the water there. He's actually trying to free his villager on his dock. And we still haven't seen the Archer follow-up. Kasva's still leaning heavy onto water. He's towering his gold. Think he will need some skirmishers or archers of his own. And he has to be careful here. That palisade is dangerously close to going down.
Yeah, but I love this from Dogao T90. He just immediately is going to send 4 villagers forward. He knows his opponent has nothing on the land.
Yeah.
So why not just go out and take the free food, especially as Mongols? It's just a great way to read the game state and solidify a further advantage.
One of the things that Dogao was known for, and interestingly enough, it was very much a Brazilian pro thing, was just full house wall and not palisade.
Yes.
Right? It's not something you see as frequently overall these days because palisades are so vulnerable. But Dogao just cleanly building up towards army, adding eco, and then just slow little house wall along the back of the base. But, I mean, it's just one thing after another here. Kasva should have no chance against a top-tier opponent with how the start panned out in this matchup. And it's kind of looking like he just cannot do enough. He still hasn't killed the fish from Dogao. He does still have the numbers there, but Dogao he's doing everything right.
And it's just this crisp execution that we really do associate with Dogao. Going all the way back to, the early tournaments. I remember watching him take a game versus Viper back in 2012 was just out executing him in early game.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness. Middle school Ornlu was very excited by such things.
The weakness for Dogao, for me, is the inconsistency. But if Dogao is sharp, he still easily can be in that top 16. It's just, I heard him talk about it on a podcast. He's older now, right? He's not as young as he used to be. I think, mid-30s for Dogao. He's been playing the game a long time. Viewers know, life gets busier. Energy levels aren't there. It's hard to be consistent. So But this is... I think it's a heavy dose of confidence and also just skill. And I think for Kasva, I'm really feeling for him right now, Hornlu.
Yeah.
This is bad, man. This is real bad. Yeah.
It's like we've all been there, right? In our games like this, where it's just like everything is going horribly wrong.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to make something work, like anything, and just nothing really is. And
yeah,
this is not really where you want to be as Kasva right now.
Yeah, but I think you gotta play it out a little bit.
Absolutely.
You're dead. Play it out a little bit. Just like try and get that negative energy out of your system. The reality is, though, he will be later to Castle H. And I wanted to actually bring up, now that the game is essentially kind of over and we have some time. So there's a strat that Nikov did. And I think we were casting the series in the Nikov-Sebastian series, right?
Yes, we casted that one together.
Okay, so the whole adding the fishing ships in the south situation had me thinking. See, right now, Dogao's villagers are completely unprotected. If something counterattacks, they die. But if you have fishing ships there too, you can just garrison the fish, and against feudal age army, your villagers are protected from the arrows.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I think people will, as this new feature gets more explored, use the docks as powerful defensive structures early on, because that's exactly what they are. I mean,
Yep.
they deal a decent amount of early damage, and it's just damage you can't really stop.
Yeah.
Because if the fishing ships are garrisoned, you just can't be in that area. 6 range is decent enough, and I think if you just hug it with your units, it is very powerful to keep your villagers or even your own army safe.
Do you think the arrow fire from docks is too strong, just like balance-wise?
I think that it is probably, you shouldn't be able to garrison as many fish, maybe.
Interesting. Okay, so
Although, have you seen harbors since the fishing ship garrison became a thing?
No, I haven't.
It is one of the most beautiful sights ever. It's basically like Teuton Death Stars, because they fire like a bunch of arrows, and then the fishing ships still add more arrows on top of that.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's fun.
It's just like this giant rain of arrows.
That's fun. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a fun one. I want to see it in like more team game tournaments and stuff where you can actually get to like late game water.
Dude,
Slugfest.
Oh man, I'm just thinking of community games now on water maps. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, it'll be fun.
Oh my god, this sounds terrible. Sounds like with that and getting wood and gold from trade now, I'm terrified for community games because normally in community games
It does require population, right? So I think it's actually fairly balanced.
Yeah, okay. Well, unfortunately for Kasva, he's completely out of position. The archers come to the berries, and Kasva's going to lose even more. And this game has long been over. I mean, Dogao has just literally played perfect today. Kasva, he never could get his feet off the ground here in the matchup. And after losing the dock villager, and I mean, probably should be GG here once the upgrades come in for Dogao. And it is.
Oh, Bod Crowsaw not even able to be researched, and Dogao. This is the level of confidence that you'd expect from a veteran like Dogao, and he is absolutely showing why he is a dominant player. He had a really rough start to his group, as you mentioned earlier, but it's good to see him bounce back for sure.
Really clean, really clean. I mean, near perfect. Did you just combine Bodcanero, Crossbowman, and Bowsaw into one word?
Yeah, I've done it for literally my entire casting career. It's the holy trinity of early Castle Age Archer upgrades. It's Bod Crowsaw.
What do you say if it's Elite Skirm, Bodcanero, and Bowsaw?
Then it's like Skirm Bodsaw, but it doesn't sound good. It also, on water maps, used to be Bod Warsaw with War Galley, but...
Now it's Bod Hulksaw?
Bod Medium Warship Saw. It just isn't as good, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What were the devs thinking, man? So, dominant so far for Dogao. And Kasva's going to look for any type of control. I think this map is the map that actually fits his energy. It's extremely chaotic. There's a lot of different things that can happen. I don't think Dogao can just play like this min-max approach of a perfect amount of military on water, perfect amount of military on land, because honestly, I don't even know what that is, right? Like, we have seen water win this. We've seen land win this, whether it be like archers, knights, siege, monks. So much can work if you control the middle hill. I would guess, though, because of their experience, that Kasva will play land and Dogao will play play water. It's typically how it would go between these two.
Yeah, I think that Dogao, back in ye old days, Dogao was considered one of the prime water players out there. And I think even to this day, he's still going to feel very comfortable on the more aquatic maps in the pool. And Stranded is going to certainly work there if you can defend early on. Because back when this map was introduced, and I was talking about this in the last series, is like we saw a lot of different things on this map. We saw like crazy fast castles with Koreans be meta. We saw forwards be very popular. We saw full water play be popular. Nowadays, it feels like if you're not going fully aggressive on the land, you're probably having a bad time. And I think that is Kasva can get that advantage. I don't think this is going to be fast castle with Koreans.
I remember Kasva played with Koreans in the group stage. And I'm just trying to remember exactly how he opened, but I remember it was double range and skirmishers in Castle Age. So I think his opponent had gone Man-at-Arms or something as Dravidian. So Koreans are perfect for that. It's cheaper for you to make the archers and skirms. You also have cheaper ships. So it's like a map with range units, water units, and then also if you build the occasional tower, which you might need to defend your wood lines or pressure, again, free tower upgrades. So I think Koreans are easy top 5. I actually am not fully in love with the Portuguese here, just because they don't have any of the starting bonuses like Japanese and Dravidians and like Persians and Lithuanians do. But I guess Koreans don't have any early game eco bonuses either, so should be pretty close.
Yeah, you would certainly prefer to play Portuguese on a map that have forage bushes on them, as opposed to this one, which does not.
Yeah.
So that's a little unfortunate. That said, I don't think Portuguese are ever truly a bad civ. They have such a good general bonus with the gold discount, and their tech tree is amazing. So
yeah.
You can make them work. They even have the ship HP bonus, which is nice, which is now actually staggered a bit more throughout the game. So it's even better now in the mid to late game.
What do you think?
So that, like, Castle Age fighting could be better.
So on maps like Islands or Migration or something, right, where water is hugely important, we oftentimes see civs that get shipwright dominate. So Koreans get that. And shipwright, 1,000 food, 300 gold, pretty costly. Your ships cost 20% less wood, and then build 50% faster. The Portuguese now have a new tech, which half of it I think is really cool. Circumnavigation. It sets the entire map to explored. And then ships train 33% faster. That is 150 wood and 250 gold. From a balance perspective, do you think that tech is insane on water, or is it just fine? Because I saw ships train 33% faster, and I was like, that's unbelievable. And late game on water.
It's half a shipwright that you get super cheap on the way up to Imperial Age. That sounds insane to me for a civ that already has a discount and HP boost to their ships, and also has Fate Arias.
Yeah. It's a tough one to balance, though, because it has dual purpose. So the set's entire map to explored, you wouldn't want to be too expensive because it's not really necessarily that. It's like a cool tech, but it's not like that OP at a high level. But the other aspect of it blew my mind. I think we won't see it here again, but I wanted to get your thoughts. I am inclined to agree that it's insane attached to the Portuguese.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's the civ that it's attached to makes it very good. But of course, if you guys have noticed, the devs don't want to have unique techs that only affect water maps. So they've been kind of switching those out over the years. So I think that's why they have the full explorer of the map. It's a nice shout out to, of course, Magellan and circumnavigating the globe. So, I mean, it's a nice little flavor tech, but certainly one that's going to help them a lot on water.
Yeah, we have seen a research. Unfortunately, at least my version of Capture Age doesn't actually set the full map to explored after the tech is researched.
It doesn't on the regular version either.
Well, I mean, we're not going to see it researched here, but that makes the tech fans a little bit sad. Hopefully they can fix that. Did they fix the bug where trade cards don't show how much gold is on it yet? Do you know?
I haven't seen a team game on it yet.
Okay. Well, Kasva found the dock for Dogao, so he knows exactly where Dogao is. Dogao is going to play land. Dogao is the early barracks, so I'm expecting Man-at-Arms. Kasva bringing in another elephant right now, or I guess rhino, which is at the time that you would typically be switching off to a lot of wood and golds if you were going for the heavy like water play. But I'm still not certain. We haven't seen the second dock yet. As I say it, I think he is going over to build the second dock. So maybe a bit of water, but no scouting on the land, of course, because you don't have the scout.
Yeah, and I'm a little confused for the reason that you brought up. Guys, if you want to be as aggressive on water as Kasva is going to want to do here with the second dock, you need all the wood and gold you can get. And right now you're spending a lot of villager time gathering a resource that is not wood or gold. You're going to hit Feudal Age with 300 food banked up. You're going to spend 100 of it instantly on double bit axe, and then you have nothing else to spend with all that food.
Yeah. Kasva's just not a player who has the cleanest builds. He never has been. He's about the aggression. He's about the grit and like really awkward fights where games are going back and forth. But Dogao has set the standard so far this series. Here come the militia. Now, Kasva does have Loom and also has the Korean villager line of sight bonus, which is really underrated there. So he sees the militia, gets the walls down, and he also should be able to see that Dogao will build a tower behind the wood line. And I think it's easy enough here to just go for a counter tower and should be able to shut that down, and that's what he will do. Not bad.
Yeah, so good reaction, not wasting any time there with the tower. So it should be able to actually deny Dogao's tower. I think the vills are kind of not spaced perfectly, but they should be able to deny it. You have the palisade walls that are protecting the villagers, and you should have at least a pretty decent shot on the water. That said, Kasva isn't actually making any warships, T90, so I am now officially confused.
Yeah, but if he traps these vills, it's 2 free kills, and that's some nice walling, and Dogao did not see that coming, and wow, Kasva kills 2 vills, denies the tower at 73%, and you have time, right? You can garrison your boats, and you can make 2 hawks right now. It's fairly common. Your opponent's always going to add in a couple units, and I feel like while Kasva isn't producing on water at the moment, that's a nice win, and it's unlikely he loses many fish here.
Yeah, and he does have one more fishing ship, which is nice, so that should further help his economy. But look at the resources, T90. It's already 400 more for Dogao, and that is just pure eco-efficiency. That is Dogao being the more experienced, more macro-oriented player. So in that sense, the men-at-arms and the aggression have done something useful.
Yep, nice walls there from Kasva. It is super easy to forget about your Dockville. So he ends up saving the villager. Dogao will now know his target, or his not fires, sorry, his hawks. And 2 hawks are coming down. But yeah, by the time Dogao is there, there will be 2 hawks from Kasva. Yeah, I think for Kasva, he's really just, he doesn't want to stay in Feudal Age for very long. He just wants to get to Castle Age. I think that's why he's underproducing a little bit. Just save the resources and wait to click up. And if you can get there, then you can go for Fire Lancers. We could see more towers, of course.
And we could see turtle ships.
And turtles, yeah, which have looked insane. Like, absolutely insane.
I haven't had the chance to test them out yet because there's been a million other things to test, but they got mega buffed between Thalassocracy Cup and the live version of the water change that they implemented with the recent patch. So
what did they...
I'm curious to see how good they are.
I mean, they were always good. So, like, what were the buffs? I don't remember them. They seem unbeatable right now.
I don't know. Like, they added a ton of armor for the unit. I think they made their attacking a little bit more consistent as well.
Okay.
Which I hated microing turtle ships after they got the change with 3 Kingdoms. Like, with the rockets, it just made it so awkward to control.
Yeah, okay.
So, hopefully that's a bit easier now.
All right. Well, I mean, they at least in Northern Crossings, it seemed like maybe the best civ right now. Kasva sees the man-at-arms loop back in. The only 2 kills in this game have been the 2 villager kills, and Kasva clicks up. So yeah, I think that's the play, right? He's undermade Navy. His plan might be turtle ships on land, and then turtle ships on water, and then skirmishers on land.
Let's go!
That'll be in the next patch.
Roll them over to land.
that'll be the next patch.
Oh my goodness.
Dude,
yeah, I definitely skirmishers are just going to be a good unit that you can apply pressure with them, or you could defend with them. So it's going to be very versatile there, and just make sure that you can get that fishing eco going as Kasva. Although I do think it's a bit awkward that he still had those 2 villager kills and is behind so much in resources.
Yeah, I think he hasn't had his fishing ships spread out properly. Like, they've been, his dock positions and whatnot, the fish have been very exposed, and Dogao comes in, and beautiful micro. We haven't really said that too much with the Hawks. And also, Kasva, you have to garrison here. The garrison's late, and yeah, 4 kills there for Dogao, not bad. I think Kasva's still really paranoid dealing with the archers that Dogao has here. But Dogao, even if he loses the archers, I think he'll be happy with what's happened on water there.
Yeah, that is a really nice little swoop in for Dogao. And, the Hulks are still a very new unit, so nobody's really optimized how you actually control them, especially in these early fights. So I think just going in, they move fast, and then blocking the fishing ships, you can sort of stack them up and use that one range to get some good hits like that. They do a lot of damage, of course.
Oh man, I've never seen a comment more suited for Ornlu to answer. I'm gonna read it from the YouTube chat. Sorry for off-topic question. Asking for any native English speakers. Why the melee ship is called Hulk? I can't find the right definition in the Oxford dictionaries. Any answers here, Ornlu?
So the Hulk is actually a type of ship, and it is characterized by the number of sails, I think. So it's just a real type of ship that was used historically. Same with the Caracs, were actually the larger Hulks that the Portuguese used, which is why they went from the unique tech Carac to actually being a generic unit. The hook throwing thing is a reference to the fact that the ships were quite fast. And the hooks are sort of representing like Marines boarding the enemy ships, which is actually how most of the naval fighting historically took place.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I knew you'd have an answer. And I would be able to tell you when you should make them or when you should not make them in the game. But beyond that, yep, not really not really one to focus on the details. What I can also tell you, Ornlu, is that I think the oars are not moving properly on the now moving oars of the turtle ship. It's bothering me. It looks like they're rowing backwards.
And this is like one of my favorite units. My studies, my degree is Asian history, specifically Korea and politics. And let me tell you, I love me some turtle ships, but this is not how oars work at all.
Now, Chad has been quite maybe hold on. Let's actually cast the game. Sorry, if we keep going down this direction, I'm never going to stop. But the turtle ships are moving. That's the point. Kasva is pressuring on water. He's now pressuring with the skirmishers and the rocket carts on land. Sorry, it's the turtle thing has been slowing down my cast this week. But beautiful recovery.
Unfortunately, you picked the wrong person to cast with to keep you on track and not get easily distracted by some weird thing that's going on. Oh my goodness. But yes, the turtle ship is going to do a beautiful job against those feudal age ships. The rocket cart's in a great position to apply pressure to the TC. And now Dogao's going to be in this awkward position where he's going to likely have to fight uphill against these rocket carts.
Yeah, I think for Kasva, the game plan was clear. Let's make it to Castle Age, and if we can control the hill here in Castle Age, it gets really dangerous for Dogao. For Dogao, he doesn't have the water lead anymore. He can't stop the amount of hawks and turtles that are out there. And he's now pushed fully off of gold. He will counterattack, but now that tower that was placed earlier from Kasva should defend most of the wood line, and he can make the heavily armored skirms to chase back the crossbows.
Yeah, and that free armor upgrade is just so helpful because in a very tight eco game like this one, getting those armor upgrades is not something that's going to be easy to afford. And so long as you keep your defense upgrades on par with your attack upgrades, skirmishers only take 1 damage from crossbowmen. So that's really, really helpful, just keeping your units alive here.
Yeah, Dogao did shift over to another gold. There is still the question of what do you spend your gold on, right? You're pretty much behind on water with no sign that that's going to change. Turtle ship does go down, sadly, but your own siege is going to be needed. But I think he just honestly needs some really good micro now because he doesn't have the hill, which is so critical on Stranded here. So let's see. I think for Kasva, it should dawn on him that Dogao should be taking a gold elsewhere, and maybe he should focus a bit more to the left side, but he never scouted the golds there, so... I think that will come to his mind in the near future here.
It needs to, right? Because you have to imagine your opponent is getting the resources somewhere.
Yep.
Gold doesn't spawn on this map close to the water. That's where the few tiles of stone spawn. So your opponent has to have gold either slightly to the southeast or to the west of Dogao's base. And you're literally already there in the southeast, so it has to be in the west. So you can sort of use process of elimination there to figure out where your opponent is.
What is Dogao doing here? He ran right in towards the skirmishers. Split micro from Kasva. Kasva honestly had some opportunities there to hit some better shots than he did, but dangerous for Dogao. He does now have his everything working together, which is what you want. And all big attack rounds. Another rocket cart for Kasva. Misses. And it's kind of tough to move around in there. And...
And then...
oh
my goodness, that's just pure micro right there. Dogao able to regroup all of his units here on the hill. That is absolutely necessary. That point that Kasva was controlling was so critical to applying pressure, and now our red player is just going to be absolutely reeling.
Yeah, and that's the critical area. I said it the other day. I think, obviously, when the intensity is high and the moment's big, it's hard to have patience, but I really think if players just camp the hill and they don't do too much more, it becomes so much more difficult, especially in these siege v siege situations. Luckily for Kasva, he does still have his own hill, and he did mine some stone. So now he'll drop a guard tower to hold. And the eco count's still looking pretty good. He's got farms now with horse collar. He still has some fishing ships. And he will also save his rocket cart and take down the Mangano. Well played.
Oh. That is very close and a necessary win for Kasva because he needs to take these efficient fights because his army is so much smaller. Yes, his villager count is good, but it's just the efficiency, and it is not very good here for Kasva, which means he needs to just be that much more efficient in all of his engagements.
Well, now I'm curious. I think Dogao is probably just going to camp the hill. We'll see if he proves our point. Whereas other players might just move out and try and take some risks. Yep, he camps the hill. Rocket cart comes in. Nice snipe from Dogao. And Dogao's like, all right, this is a siege battle, so I'm just going to take down your siege workshop now. Still must be wondering, though, Kasva, where is this guy taking gold? Because he's made a lot of siege. Portuguese discount is good, but, like, it's not that good when he was pushed off the main gold.
Yeah, now he's going to be sending his troops around. He will end up finding the resource, but excellent reaction from Dogao. He should save most, if not all, of those villagers. And he is, in fact, closing in on a castle pretty soon, and that could be very powerful just to take control of the middle so you could attack in any other direction as Dogao.
Yeah, I think that was Kasva's initial plan. He had 420 stone, but he ended up having to build these towers to prevent the push, which is still fine, and there's still stone around the map. Still feel like Kasva just needs another siege workshop. And now could be an opportunity. If you know Dogao's chasing with all your mangonels and leaving the hill, you could always sneak a tower up there. Surprised that Dogao's pulling back with everything, to be honest.
Well, he's not pulling back with his crossbowman blob as they just get free villager kills, so you'll take that whatever you can.
Yep.
And it makes sense. You see where your opponent's towers are located, so just attack wherever those towers are not. And that is going to be a nice little runaround for Dogao that Kasva has to reckon with.
Yeah, and there go the villagers to the hill. I'm sure for Kasva, any army he has is either in Dogao's base running away, or it is scrambling to come clear up this crossbow raid. And now there's the castle. And Dogao's castle is protected by the Mangano, and that castle should complete. The skirmishers for Kasva will have to chase, but I think Dogao will want that. Sure, he might lose his crossbows, but the crossbows basically distracted the opponent enough to pull him out of position, and it's the best game Kasva's played so far this series. He does have a nice population, but it still feels like the favorite here is just pulling this one back.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to quick ball there, but you're going to lose more villagers in the process. Dogao's resources lead is just getting further and further. You could also start going for some organ guns. They are good against skirmishers and are going to be helpful for the slow push. But Dogao already, I think, thinking about the Imperial Age.
Yeah, it's amazing that he even has the resources for Imp. It's not like he had this free fish boom or anything, right? It's so good. But there goes the turtle again. Maybe we'll snipe the fishing ships. But yeah, Dogao's resources are balanced perfectly. And the only thing that he's really missing would be full security of the left side of this middle area. But even there, he's sitting with the two Manganos, just waiting patiently. And then he's got the siege on the right, waiting patiently. And then he's got his castle in the middle. And a bit of the market use. And boom, on the way to Imp. Beautiful.
Yeah, really just... I know we keep saying this, but we have to underscore just how solid the macro, the micro, your basic flowchart of decision-making, everything for Dogao just is a tier and a half above what Kasva's doing.
Yeah.
And it's not like these are easy decisions or micro moves to make considering how much Kasva is throwing at his opponent, but Dogao is just looking like a guy who's been playing this game at a high level for over a decade.
It's a shame. If Kasva loses this series, this will be the second year in a row he's made gold playoffs and then loses the playoff, which has got to hurt. But
that's rough.
But based on like caliber of player and the level that we see, I feel like Kasva's Gold League is perfect for him, to be honest, right? Like, can be really competitive. His aggressive styles can work, but to get to Plat and be competitive in Plat, the economic control and the efficiency is just so much higher, and that's exactly what we're seeing from Dogao today. Like, this is a 2 TC imp with 5 fishing ships when he's had to go crossbow, siege, and build a castle on a map where you barely have stone. Like, how?
Well, he's not spending food, right? The only thing he's spending food on are villagers.
Yep.
And a few upgrades. And that, with good enough eco management, which is, of course, exactly what we're seeing from Dogao, that's how you can just sneak in that Imperial Age upgrade. And if you get that, you get control of the middle with Trebs, get Bracer for your crossbowmen. The win is very easy at that point.
Yeah. Trade 1-for-1 there is fine for Dogao. Can always pull the villager to get the repair. And Kasva's eco is cooking up a little bit. He does have very solid economy, but once he sees Imp, that means Trebs. And that also means Bracer on the crossbows, which there's going to be 20 of. So just really tough to stop this.
It's one of those situations where it's like, okay, there are some things that Kasva did well, but the most important stat, guys, is the 11% lower average worker efficiency.
Yep.
Sometimes that's what AoE boils down to, and that is exactly why Dogao won that game, guys.
Yep, Dogao's efficiency was super smooth. Even losing the 2 early villagers, it just always felt like behind it, it's such a good economy. And that's just, that's been the theme so far. So we'll hop into the next game. In theory, we could have a 4-game-in-a-row comeback here from Kasva. That's the hype. That's the thing we're supposed to say, but it does not look likely at the moment.
It does not. We already had the excitement today.
I will also add, I don't know details, and I wasn't going to mention it, but considering how rough this looks at the moment, I will also add that the series got pushed to today. And I think Kasva had like a loss in the family or something personal happen. So it could be a mix as well of like Kasva's not necessarily all at 100% and Dogao's at 100%. So, but it was the games haven't been improving. There was a better start for him there. I still don't really know where it went wrong, to be honest with you. I think maybe losing the siege and losing the skirmishers in that hill area was probably the critical moment.
I actually think it was way sooner than that. I think it was when Dogao went forward and he didn't kill anything, but Kasva's eco was so idle that it literally didn't matter that he had more villagers because he was still less efficient and still behind in resources.
And when you and we can sync up here. Let's do the countdown first and keep talking about it.
Yeah, sure.
3, 2, 1, go. I think the way I would describe that to people, and I hope it's relatable. I don't know how many people play the game. Many just watch. But if you're up against a better player who has such good unit control, you might need to invest an extra 10 to 20% of your focus onto having even KD just to stay even in the game. And then that additional time and focus doesn't get spent looking and managing your eco. So like a lot of players with great economy management, it's because they are like so good at microing their military units that you would just have to stay laser focused there. So Kasva's kind of always been like that. Like he's always been super heavy numbers guy versus and super heavy micro guy versus the eco. But I think having been there, if someone was watching me right now down 0-3 and people were thinking like, oh man, he can't macro as well, I would want to say, no, I can. I just can't against this guy because everything he does just makes it look so easy.
And when you run into that opponent that is better than you, just in terms of regular AoE skill, it then becomes, it can often feel just so helpless because you try and find an angle in which you can get an advantage, but if you don't have as many resources as your opponent, there is often not a whole lot you can do. And that's why the players who have the really sharp macro, the sharp mechanics, are more likely to make that big break into like the higher echelons of AoE 2 than somebody who might be playing really smart but just doesn't quite have the mechanics behind it.
Is it surprising to you how big of a skill gap there is between even just the 3 leagues, right? Like someone in Platinum League plays up against, let's say, Dogao, who is in Gold League this season getting promoted up, and you can see the same storyline in reversed. Or then like Kasva won 8 games out of 15 in the group stage against gold players. If he plays silver players, the aggression's working. And that's really not that many players. We're talking about top 72 in the world. Is that surprising to you?
No, but only because I myself have that experience on a fairly regular basis where I just hit 2K for the first time, yay.
Oh, let's go.
Whenever I played someone who's like just, 2K2, 2K3, like if I ran into you on the ladder, it's like, oh no, this just feels like a whole world of difference.
Yeah.
But, the difference between you and the players who are here in, even Silver League are also a huge difference. And there aren't actually that many human beings in between us in terms of skill level. It's just that just is how much skill you can manifest yourself in AoE 2.
Let me ask you a follow-up question though. So you just hit 2K. Do you feel like you have incredible talents?
No.
Okay. I knew you were going to say that because I know your personality. Thank you. But no, for me, I don't think it's talent at all. I just think it's time invested in the game and knowledge, which makes me then think, are we getting to the point now where we have like Kambito? Kambito within 2.5 years, he's gonna be gold now. He went from just starting to play the game. He's 2K6. We have Blue. Blue's played the game for 2.5 years, is 20 years old, Taiwanese player. Just got promoted to gold. Like, I think we're actually reaching a point where it's like the talent is rising fast, right? I'm hoping that's the case. Like, I feel like because I think I suck and I'm 2K3, 2K4, I really do feel like in like 3 years, we could have less disparity between at least like 16th in the world and 70th in the world because it's already happening. But I could be super wrong.
No, I think that feels very realistic as we have these, kids at this point coming in and really showing just how good you can get with the multitasking, with the micro, macro, basic decision making in a very short time.
Yeah.
And as they play more, as they get more experience, then they'll become more competitive with these guys who've been around for a long time. For sure.
Yeah, no, because it used to be unheard of that we would have people get into the top within 2 years. We'd be like, nah, you got to play 5 years, right? But now there's enough evidence of people who are coming out of nowhere almost, where I feel it will be a lot more common that people can have very few years invested into the game and get, not maybe to the very top, but somewhat close to the high level. This is funny from Dogao. He goes to militia, and he just kills all the rabbits.
Wow. What a jerk, man. What did those bunnies ever do to you?
You could still eat them now. In the past, that would be a lot more valuable and a lot more punishing. But Kasva must be aware that most people are going for follow-up militia as well. So he needs to be careful, and he needs to scout it as well, and he does. He sees the flag. So at least with Kasva being down 0-3, his scouting's still a point.
I just realized, did the flag look like the old flag to you over the barracks?
It did.
And not the new flags that they have for all the architecture sets?
Yeah. Is it the Dark Age barracks that does the old flag?
I was like, in the Dark Age, is it always the old flag and you only get the new flags when you click up?
I don't know, to be honest. But I'm so used to the old flags, it wasn't even notable for me, but I guess it makes sense. Kasva's going full risk mode. Typically, you don't see someone go for both sides, but he's going out to mill the other side as well here on slopes. But nice finding on the engagement, at least so far. Adding a spearman might not make a lot of sense for the long term, but you just needed additional units to engage against this, and he kills off one of the militia and weakens them before their man-at-arms.
I almost never mind players going for a few early spearmen against these drush into men-at-arm rushes. You just need as many bodies on the dance floor as possible. Although the lovely patrol stacking there is going to make those units die quite quickly. Nice focus fire there from Kasva, as of course then he loses the scout. Scout running around here for Dogao, but this is still okay for Kasva.
Yeah, that's fine. And because he's taking the res on the sides, he's got the greater efficiency just baked in, so A very solid play for him there. And he should know there will be Spearman follow-up. Really wants to kill this off before the Spearmen arrive, which makes sense, and that should be easy kills. Bit of micro from Kasva would typically happen, but well done. Archer range, though, is the typical follow-up, and I'm waiting for it. And he's going to go Archer range Blacksmith, expecting it.
Yeah, makes tons of sense. We already have the archers that are going to be on the field here for Dogao, and on a map that is, let's just say, Arabia-esque in terms of it's a semi-open map, you basically always need an archery range. I don't think there are many games these days where you can just skip the archery range entirely. And so just getting those defensive skirmishers out to help with the archers and spearmen feels pretty essential. So it makes sense Kasva's going to be going for that nice and quick.
Yeah, moves over quickly. He'll have the archer range waiting, so one or two skirmishers should be fine. I know Dogao's got the lead in the series, but he's honestly just focused so much on walling here. He doesn't really have a very strong military to work with at all, and he invested into man-at-arms for no reward, which is not cheap. So I think Kasva's fine here. That skirmisher can defend those villagers no problem. Scouts are still running around, and this has been the first game where I think Kasva's had the efficiency lead. If it is there, it actually looks like it's a bit down, but still close to that and momentum.
Yeah, he's doing just fine now. He's even grabbing the wheelbarrow upgrade because he got housed at the traditional time to pick up wheelbarrow. Every opportunity is whenever you get housed.
Yep.
Don't want to lose scout HP there. That is still very valuable. Dogao probably still going to have to stick around at home for the most part because he's sending his units out piecemeal, and they're just getting picked off by the more mobile army of Kasva, which is very well done.
Yeah, well done. Detail here to look for would be, did Dogao scout the other area? If you did, you can actually see if the bunnies are being taken. So if he looks there, he could maybe see that and sneak. But he's still not fully walled. We've had some open and rather closed generations of slopes. The Dogao playing this like it's an easy-to-wall gen, but it's taken him some time. But I see a stable. I think for Dogao, once he's safe, then maybe we see a big army pushback. And Kasva will unfortunately be a little late to getting into pressure here, I believe. Oof.
Oh, Spearman getting an extra poke in right there. So, yeah, he's just going to need to retreat a little bit, but it's okay. He's got his eco upgrades in quite nicely. He's getting his farms down. He is going to want to go over to the gold pretty soon so he can click up the Castle Age in good order. But you also have the extra bonus damage versus buildings as Hindustanis.
Yep.
So you have to be a bit careful.
Any other civ, I don't like the additional scout production, but with this civ, there's lots of reason for it. And guess what? If you win 2 more games and still lose another, it's the same result for you, and you just put more time and energy into the day. So for Kasva, he's just like, let's just send it. Let's get a win. Let's take it from there. I can totally respect the energy right now. And he's also going to bring the villagers. And this is because of the situation, but as someone who has been absolutely massacred by Kasva many, many times, he does this because he knows his eco isn't as efficient. And players are normally sitting back playing towards Castle Age now. And sometimes they'll sell their stone so they can't tower. And yeah, then the all-ins can happen. Interesting, he moved his tower back a little bit. But the tower's on the way up. And there's the counter tower from Dogao.
Yeah, it's a little awkward. The +1 defense there for the skirmishers makes it that much more tricky to actually focus down those units. And those vills are getting harassed as they're trying to build the tower. The tower of Kasva is going to be here in just a moment. We're not even at 2/3 yet on the tower of Dogao.
Oof. This is where you get to really see the damage control. That house could have easily gone down. House stays up. Does Dogao lose a villager here? Still hasn't lost one. He loses one.
Yeah.
But he does have his own scouts behind here. I think that's the important thing. Is if the army gets in, there will be some resistance from Dogao. But it is forging for Kasva, and there's still lots of palisade walls here for him to take down.
I mean, this is interesting. Like, look at this. On the north, he's just farming in the middle of nowhere. And you think that farming in an open field makes sense, but no, not in Age of Empires.
Yeah, we farm behind walls in this game. I love the...
I mean, this is just so annoying to deal with now for Dogao.
Yeah, and it's not like Dogao can go to Castle Age, because if he goes to Castle Age, he dies. So he needs the army. But Kasva doesn't know the army's there, and he could easily be surprised if he overextends here. Another villager died, but I think it was Kasva's villager. He loses another one, so he's repairing the tower, and his villagers are being shot down. And look at the HP on Dogao's villagers.
The exact same mistake, but he does.
Yep. Dogao also loses the vill. Farmers are weak. Dude, if these scouts get in, there's multiple villagers on 1 HP.
That forging upgrade.
Yeah. But this is a skill, right? Like, saving these villagers in the final moments is a skill. And it's not easy. Pretty soon here, I think Dogao's going to actually delete the house and take the fight. And there he goes. Kasva wanted in. He gets his reward. And now we see the fight. But there's spearmen in there. And there's still archers. And Dogao, even fighting with up the hill here, I think is the better army.
Yeah, I mean, traditionally we would say that Scout plus Archer is better than Scout plus Skirmisher. A couple Spearmen come in to help out as well.
Oh my god.
The hill might make this a bit tricky, but the Scouts are just going down way too fast, and Dogao will absolutely clean house.
That's insane.
But Kasva's going to click up to Castle Age.
Yeah, that's true. How do you hold, though? How do you hold? Because you have been farming in open territories. You've got woodline in the back. You haven't walled at all. If Dogao ever gets to the north, that could be the GG blow. On the way to Castle Age, you can't make knights. There is a second stable there for Kasva, and he is panic walling now. So I guess the game plan is light cap, but it's really gonna be awkward for the next couple minutes here.
Yeah, this is where Hindustani's not having knights is a bit of an issue. I mean, they are still like a very good, well-rounded civ, but
Yep.
Against Scouts plus Archers, the unit you want most of the time is the Knight.
Yeah.
Now, the Campbells will kill the Scouts very quickly, but their lack of Pierce Armor does mean that they're vulnerable to large numbers of Feudal Age Archers, which is kind of what Dogao is going to be working with, who himself is going to be clicking up to Castle Age quite soon. Resources, again, Dogao just with that better eco efficiency as well. It's just every single game.
Well, Vietnamese as well, right? Cheaper eco techs, goes a long way. You can snag the upgrades really early. And Dogao will be fully walled for the long term. He's clearly expecting all-in stable units because he sees the double stable. So it seems like his long-term plan might be Fire Lancers because we see a barracks built in the back of his base. I mean, every game Kasva has improved in his ability to push Dogao and pressure him. And yet we're just getting another reminder at how good Dogao is every single time.
And you have a lot of villagers that are now kind of idle right now. Castle Age will be in here shortly, but this is going to be difficult to hold. I mean, Kasva's doing a good job of slowing down this army, but slowing down the army comes at the cost of eco efficiency, and that has been your Achilles heel all game long, or all series long even. And he's actually going to try and swoop in here. I don't know about that.
Well, you can kill 2 archers. That's nice. Pick off the reinforcements and then come home. Still needs the houses to complete, though. Weak villagers are getting saved by Kasva. But, yeah, he needs something back there because that house is about to go down. He'll panic up at town center. The scouts still could get into Dogao's base.
Panic up a town center.
Wood efficiency is non-existent for Kasva. His whole wood lines have been abandoned. And the town center's up. And Dogao's losing an archer or two, but Dogao, again, just always realizing he's about to overchop. With how Dogao's played, I'm expecting him to get the perfect house walls down here to keep the light cav out, and he's doing it. And when he reaches Castle Age, his resources will be perfect for town centers, for Fire Lancers, and his scouts and archers are still alive right now. So, really smooth defense from Dogao.
And this is where it gets really awkward because the best unit you can make right now is Light Cav, but it's so hard on your food eco. I mean, I know your Hindustanis, you have the cheaper bills, that's nice, but your eco is not really set up to go for a mono food costing army. You want to be able to spend that gold, which is just a much faster collecting resource, and Kasva has almost 500 gold now and nothing useful to do with it.
And it is so likely for the majority of players who ever touch the game that if you try and play from Dogao's perspective, that being late to Castle Age is a massive problem. And being late to tech is a massive problem. And having the opponent with mobile units out there like the Light Cav is a problem. But he is just super solid. And behind the walls, the Fire Lancers are massing. He'll still keep repairing. Archers are going to force some type of harassment at Kasva's eco. I would say Kasva just needs to pull everything back and clear this army right now. And then figure out what the plan is after. Just clear it out. If it's only Fire Lancer, you do have some counterplay here.
Yeah, some Scorpions would not be a bad idea, I think, but I mean, just look at this eco balance. You have 12 on food and you're only making Light Cav. 14 on gold and 27 on wood. Like, yeah, you cleaned that up, but it's like, what are you going to be able to do with all these resources? I guess you can add another TC.
Yep, another TC. I mean, Fire Lancers don't land the game here. So I would say play Siege Workshop and Scorpion defense, and then just spend the next couple minutes balancing out your eco. And if you have good unit control, which Kasva does, you can use the light cav to still maybe find some opportunities. Dogao would, if he goes forward Siege Workshop, then it gets dangerous, but the light cav should, in theory, be able to prevent that. And actually, the Fire Lancers are in low numbers there, so the light cav, I wouldn't suggest that fight typically, but they take the fight to kill off a couple units here. It's not
the
bad.
Fire Lancer is so much cheaper and easier to afford at this point. I feel like if you don't have to take the fight there, just don't.
Well, you can allow the Siege Workshop position. And if a villager were to follow up in the middle right now, it'd be extremely dangerous. You're giving yourself time. The light cav are going to run through. And I with a different player, I could have seen trap here. Dogao tries. Loses the vill, and the light cav are in. This is annoying. 67 villagers for Kasva with 3 town centers. And he's super heavy on stone and home, planning for a defensive castle for when the Fire Lancers do eventually get there. The villagers are weak from before, so he finds 3 more villager kills. Well played.
Not bad. Not bad at all there from Kasva. Showing some good fighting spirit, as I believe the phrase is in this community. And yeah, really doing his best to pick off the low HP bills, save his light cav from the much slower moving Fire Lancers. And I mean, you know, Kasva is likely at this point to lose the series 0-4. This is really good play from a guy who has no reason to be feeling this good about his unit control.
Yeah, that's it. And for Dogao, it's the first time there's a hole in the wall, and this is exactly what we complimented him for preventing. Now, I think we're seeing why the farms on the outside is not necessarily ideal. Not sure what Kasva's villagers were doing there, but I think this is where now you've raided, you've lost your light cav, now you essentially have no army. You need to have something for the Fire Lancers that are coming forward to your base right now.
Interesting monastery placement adjacent to the town center. You don't get a production boost in this game by building stuff close to your TC, guys. Those are other strategy games.
When I'm tired, for whatever reason, when I'm tired, I always place my production buildings in farm spots. I don't know why. But really? I do the same thing. Yeah, I do the same thing. It's stupid, but it's like there's no farm there anymore, and I need a building, and it just goes there. And then I occasionally see it from other players. The only thing I can... Castles! Oh, God. Oh, no, Kasva.
The Fire Lancers are delaying the castle. This is going to be potentially a get-out-of-my-series castle, guys.
Oh, that's so rough. No. Because now when he deletes, he doesn't have enough stone for the other castle, and... Oh, man. He will build the castle at home. But that means that these 13, 14 villagers are all just destined to die. And Dogao is going to build a town center there? Come on, Dogao. Have some respect. There he goes.
Show some decorum, Dogao.
Oh, my God. I mean, but we knew it was coming. We knew the Fire Lancers were coming. Kasva just didn't have the castle in time. And I feel like he did have the time to maybe use the market and get it, Ornlu, but amazing job from Dogao, who's on 3 TCs with every eco upgrade you would want. And just, yeah, he's platinum quality, right?
And this is, if Dogao can maintain a bit more of that consistency, this is a guy who's going to do work in platinum as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, he started really slow last season in platinum, and he could never recover. And he still almost ended up surviving. Like, Dogao feels just like a lot of the players that are going from gold to plat. They feel like you could see them staying up there, which just makes the next season so much more exciting in my mind. Ghulam's on the way now. Ghulams are typically pretty good against archer units. There are a couple rats and archers from Dogao, but I feel like the Ghulams don't fare too well against Fire Lancers.
Yeah, they do. They deal bonus damage to them.
I don't know. I've seen it, and I didn't think the Ghulams did very well. But the tone, the tone in which you responded to me makes me think I'm wrong.
You are never wrong, T90. You are our glorious tournament host.
Oh my God! Stop being so
AoE into the future.
Stop being so patronizing. Oh my God. I mean, the cost difference, right, between the Ghulams and the Fire Lancer would be notable here. It's food gold for one and then wood gold for the other, which means Dogao could still go imp. But there you go. Golems and monks looking pretty good for Kasva. Only 5 villagers behind. And he will complete a castle, which actually ranges Dogao's TC now. And any villagers that he has over there. And it's 2 castle golem production.
I am really impressed at how well Kasva's playing despite being in like such a horrible position.
Yeah.
Like this really speaks to his mentality as an AoE2 competitor. And he's going to click up to imp faster than his opponent. Yes, his eco is still very not impressive, but it is not inconceivable that he wins this game.
I think Dogao is very confused on what to make at the moment. Because you have 2 castles, you want to play rats and archers, but then your opponent's going golem. Fire lancers maybe do or do not work well here. He is on the way to the Imperial Age, but typically when you're going up to imp, you prefer the castles in the key positions. And oh god, I'm worried for Kasva. He is placing an important one. If he completes that castle, he will have 3 castles to spam unique units, and he will be an imp faster. But that castle is this is such a doubt right now.
Yeah, I'm like, I thought that was in the last series.
But Dogao doesn't see it. Dogao missed it by 1 tile.
Oh my goodness.
What?
I mean, this is getting past the doubt castle into the happy castle, if you remember from back in the day. Walking forward with 4 villagers
against
in the middle of nowhere to
against
build a
Leary.
castle.
Against Leary.
Yep.
Yep, I remember that. Well, here comes Dogao. He's about to build his own castle. He actually has the military to protect it, and he's getting the 4th relic. And there's a lot of economy on the left side for Kasva, which will again be pressured. He does have some golems, but he doesn't have enough of them right now to stop this. At least I don't think so.
Yeah, you still need to up those numbers a little bit more. The upgrades are quite solid. You do need to remember to pick up squires, though, as obviously movement speed absolutely critical for a melee unit. A market does not deny a castle, guys.
It almost did. It almost did.
I mean, just put it back a tile.
Yeah, I think he already has a market, so that was clearly just to try and deny the castle spot, but I don't know. I think maybe you plan on just building a new TC on the left to keep the villagers safe. Or I guess you use the market to build your own castle for Trebs. That's good too. A castle should go up for Kasva, but man, we've got castles everywhere. Trebs can only be in so many positions. And then you need the
look
golems.
At the resources for Dogao. It's actually a little awkward because he has way too many on food for going for a wood and gold only unit. It's like his eco set up for spamming infantry, except it's the one infantry that doesn't cost food. Yeah,
I mean, in theory, he could play champion, but I don't think that's what Dogao's planning on. He's going to go for Elite Fire Lancer and also Chemistry, which, again, is so easy to spam. The fact that you don't even need an upgrade to get Fire Lancer in the first place in Castle Age makes it a no-brainer. And then you just get Elite, which is relatively cheap. I know they increase the cost, but still. Just so quick, and then Vietnamese get the additional HP. So combine that with the fact it's a unique unit you don't need to make from castles like every other unique unit. It's pretty damn strong.
It really is, and now that Elite's in, it's going to be a pretty bad fight here for the Gulams. I mean, it's still going to be a Castle Age unit versus Imperial Age unit. And I always find it surprising that you have these regional units that you don't have to make in the castle that also have cheaper Elite upgrades than the ones that you do need to make in the castle. It feels like that should be backwards.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement. I don't love the way that it's balanced. It feels like it should be a little bit tougher to get into the unit, but beyond that, I just think the whole game, Dogao has had more resources collected. And Dogao has a Civ that can do so many other things well. That's the other thing about the Fire Lancer, is just the Civs that get the Fire Lancers can do so many other things well. The Rats and Archers, the Elephants, the Economy. And Kasva likely to be in gold for another season here, which is nothing to be ashamed of. Getting 4-0'd at the end of this season is painful. But I appreciate his fight here. He really is losing both sides right now pretty badly. He's out of stone. And so if he loses the north, his Trebs and his Mangano will go down, and the villagers. And if he were to lose the west as well, that would also be problematic. So that makes the Gulams important. And, well, here he is. Gulams fight back.
Unfortunately, just can't afford Elite. Then I think a lot of these fights would start to look very different.
Yeah,
but it's just not an upgrade he can afford because it is expensive. You know, it is a castle unique unit upgrade. He is at least going to destroy the castle over to the west, although the east is looking like a bit of a catastrophe because Dogao is going to be safe.
He's also going for He's going for double counter raid in the south and the east. Dogao's noticed some of that, but castle and everything in the north goes down, and now Dogao can just spam the Fire Lancers underneath the TC and the castle in the west as well, and it's just been... You just don't have enough stone to repair double castle against this many trebs. And he'll try. He might even take down that treb, but his economy is in ruins right now.
Yeah, it's kind of a nightmare. I mean, the thing is, he has no actual army behind this. So, like, even if you try and keep the castles alive, the 102 HP Fire Lancers do not care in the slightest.
Yep.
Like, legit more HP than a Teutonic Knight before the recent buff.
Yeah, and Kasva, you feel for him. Obviously has some fans out there rooting for him. Had a great season, and unfortunately, rough day for him. But Dogao was always going to be the favorite, and Dogao, it was a surprise. When he got relegated from Platinum, everyone was like, whoa, that actually happened, and you expect him to bounce back. And Kasva says, GG, good luck on Platinum, and he'll be back in Gold. So, yeah, we said it all throughout the series here. I know it wasn't that competitive, but Dogao is that guy. He is that good. He played with a lot of confidence. And the last 2 games, a reminder of if Kasva can get the aggression, or anyone for that matter, can be aggressive against Dogao, he's just so solid, right? Like, to control the map with the eco, with the macro, with the micro, there's just very few players in the world that can do it this well. So congrats to Dogao. Happy for him to see him back at the in the upper league.
Yeah, he's going to do, I think, quite well there if he can keep up that level of play. But I think that's really the case with a lot of these guys who are sort of borderline gold platinum players, is just the lack of consistency.
Yeah.
And it can create a lot of upsets. It makes it exciting for us to cast.
Yep. And Kasva, we'll see if he can get back to the drawing board. I think that for gold, like for someone like Kasva, in standard tournaments, it'd be very hard for him to get decent prize pool caches because a standard tournament bracket, you get knocked out by a top 16 player very early on. You might not even get into any money. Kasva getting into this position, he's earned over $1,000. I don't know exactly where, but like, there's nothing wrong with that. Just being a gold player or a silver player, even if that's like indefinitely, it's still a great opportunity. I know Kasva sees it that way, but I also know Kasva really wanted to be platinum. So,
well, it's the duality of man right there. It's like, be proud of the accomplishments, which are very real, but also you always want to be able to do better and get that extra step. But was not meant to be today, not against someone who's playing as well as Dogao did.
Yep. So with that, we actually know all the players who are promoted to Platinum League for the next season. So I think that's a good place to close it off here for the day. We do still have playoffs for silver, which I'll talk about here in just a second. But I'll just review. We don't know who's relegated out of Platinum League yet because Platinum still has 2 more rounds starting next Friday. But if you were first place in the group, you got auto-promoted already. So we had the young Argentinian Prisma auto-promoted to Platinum. We had the older Argentinian Kapoch getting auto-promoted to Platinum. We had Jordan going back up and Classic Pro all returning. Well, not all returning. I think Kapoch returning, Jordan returning, Classic Pro returning to Platinum, and Prisma would be a debutant there. And then in the playoffs, spoilers of what happened. The first set today was an all-timer. Spoilers. Anyone who's watching, spoilers. Yeah, we had Sora Kuma. He will get promoted to Platinum. Doubt returns after that 4-3 slog. And then we, of course, have Dogao and then Stone, please. So doing the math here, we have 4 of them that are new. Or is it, no, 3 that are new, 5 returning to Platinum, I think?
Yes, because Sora wasn't in Platinum, which I found very surprising.
Yeah, Sora, Stone, please, and Prisma never in Platinum. The other 5 have been there before. Yep. Sick.
Which is a pretty decent turnover, right? It shows that there is at least some volatility there at the edges of Platinum and Gold.
Well, yeah, and then you also have players who are still in Gold who will not be returning, right? Like Margugu not returning, Vleza not returning, maybe even like Daniel is Platinum, Daniel not returning, Ganji not returning. These players were actually relegated out of Gold down to Silver.
Valas as well.
Valas, Miguel, like there's very clear Overtaken maybe. I think he was Gold. But like there's very clear idea of turnover and some people just had an off year and their level has improved back to where it was. But then you also have some people who have always maybe been at their best level, and that's no longer good enough to be platinum because the level's so high now. So